All right, boys, we're back. We're gonna do today a little bit of a review of a game called Deadzone Rogue. So, fair warning, I'm reviewing Deadzone Rogue Early Access based on the content available so far. The game released on April 29th with about two-thirds of the content available. Um, so, I'm gonna review the content that is available based on the monetization model that is currently on there. So basically, the Zone Rogue is a single price game. There's no microtransaction at the current time. I don't think there ever will, or there's any intention to. And I'm pretty confident that the game will be completed, but you never know. So what I'm reviewing is the game based on what we have on like the table right now. So, a little bit of background. Prophecy Games made Deadzone Rogue. Prophecy Game is a spin-off of Hi-Res Studio. You may know Hi-Res Studio from Smite 2, Paladins, Rogue Company, amongst other things. And and so Prophecy Games is now a wholly independent affair that started under Hi-Res. Now, Prophecy Games is not marred in controversy, but they're kind of known to making early access games and not quite investing much effort into them once it's out the door and it doesn't see immediate success. So, like for instance, Tribes 3. I've never played Tribes 3, but I'm reading on the studio's history. I saw that they abandoned that game pretty much immediately as it was dead on arrival, and now they switched over to what we know as Deadzone Rogue. But before Deadzone Rogue, they had made the game was called Star Siege Dead Zone. So Star Siege Dead Zone was a PvPvE extraction-based shooter in a spaceship. They had a whole, early access of that game, and had released a founders pack and such things. But they decided to take all of these assets, cancel Star Siege Dead Zone, and instead switch over to what we know now as a PvE co-op roguelike first-person shooter, which is called Deadzone Rogue. And so here we are. So Deadzone Rogue is a PvE co-op online roguelike shooter. Basically, it's your standard fare roguelike game where you collect resources each run, and you can incrementally upgrade your character. You can upgrade its max health, primary weapon damage, secondary weapon damage, grenades AoE, your health pool, your shield pool, your shield regen speed, and all of that stuff. Um, Standard fare roguelike. And it's pretty good. It's pretty fucking good. I didn't think it was gonna be that great, and I was quite surprised, honestly. I played how long have I played that game? Dead Zone Rogue. I have 68 hours of that game played in the last 2 weeks. So yeah, so it's pretty good. It's pretty fucking good. Now it's not gonna win any awards, right? It's your standard fare. So far, the game plans to have 3 zones at full release. So three main story arcs. Now you're not here for the story, okay? Story is whatever. But the game, in terms of a first person shooter, whether you play with friends or whether you can play with up to 3 friends, by the way, whether you play with friends or you play by yourself, is mechanically really solid. The shooting mechanics are great. The action is fast paced. It moves well. It plays well. It shoots well. The roguelike element is very well implemented. Basically, every story arcs are comprised of 30 stages or levels. Um, and every level gives you access to a perk. And every 3 or 4 levels, you get access to a shop where you can upgrade your gear, buy new gear with the resource you've collected, and so on, until you eventually complete the story arc. And then when you complete a story arc, you have challenge missions that unlocks, where you'll unlock, if you beat those challenge missions, permanent perks that you can choose in your run. So all in all, it's a very, very good deal, and the power creep is really, really satisfying. Zone One is the first story arc, and it gives you only access to the first set of perks, which are basically technical perks. So it's as we said, primary weapon damage and grenades AOE and shield pool, health pool, and all of that standard fare stuff. But when you reach Zone Two, it gives you access to a new panel of upgrades of let's call them charms. That's not what they call it in the game, but it's pretty much charms that you have. And basically all of those can be upgraded to 5 stars. There's, I think, about 50 of them. And you have things like increased consecutive weak point damage. You have increased health pool, like 20% health. You have when you do 2 crit, your third crit does 100% more damage. 2 consecutive crits. So there's like charms that you can have that you gain access to every time you visit a shop. That's as like when you reach zone two, and that's a layer that gets added on top of what you already had. So every level now you gain perk, and every 3 or 4 level when you access a shop, you get a charm on top, and it really kind of pops. At that point, you can really focus fire builds. You can create massive destructive grenade builds. You can create incredible elemental effect builds, ice that will spread over to everyone, that will shatter everyone at the same time. There's so much things that you can do, and it really gets to be very satisfying. Now, there's of course a fair bit of criticism. Um, Weak point hitboxes are a little bit wonky when it comes to headshots, mostly. Depending on the enemy, some enemies you will be able to headshot them from whatever angle, but some other enemies you can only headshot them, like let's say from the front of the face. Any backhand shot will result in, well, not a headshot or a weak point shot, as they call it in the game. So there's still some, adjustments to be made there. Also, you have a perk which is a companion bot that can assist you in a run, and you can have up to like 4 companion bots if you so choose to create that kind of build. But the companion bots are kind of an extension of you. Well, the game considers it as an extension of you, and as soon as the companion bots see an enemy, they will aggro towards these enemies and make your presence known wherever you are on the map for everyone that sees those bots. So basically, it reveals your location the minute that a bot sees an enemy, because they will fly towards them and they will just try to destroy them. And the bots are really, really, really weak. So it's just basically a call out to come destroy you. The game is very action packed, as I said. It's really, really, really fun. It works really well. I would honestly, like, for instance, I played the game on stream. There's one stream last week. I intended to play maybe a couple hours, just for fun, have and knock down a couple levels, and we just ended up, me and a friend, uh, playing for the whole 16 hours of that stream. It was great. We had a blast. We cleared zone one. We cleared zone two. We cleared all the challenges, the challenge missions of Zone 1. It was a blast. And yeah, it's a good game. It works really well, and playing with up to 3 friends, it's a very good time. It's just a very good, mechanically sound, fun time. And um, when like all 3 people take different specialized, let's say, build, like one will focus on ice, one will focus on void, one will focus on lightning. It really gets to be very, very disruptive. Um, so yeah, as I said, the game's not gonna win any awards for its story. That's not what it's here for. It's there for a power fantasy. There to, give you tools of destruction, and at that, it does really, really well. So, I don't like to rate games on a 10 scale point kind of deal. But if I were to rate the game as it is right now, it's a solid 7.5 to 8. Um, at the price point that it is, it's about $24 Canadian. So maybe 17 US or around that ballpark. Um, it's solid. It's really, really solid. There's a lot of fun to be had. And as I said, I mean, I've sunk 68.7 hours in the game. Now I feel like I'm done until Zone 3 releases. Um, but I had a great time. I knocked down every mission, every story arcs and challenge missions on hard. There's 5 difficulty levels. Um, and the last level being Nightmare, which is admittedly very hard. But yeah, I cleared everything on hard. Couple of them on expert, one of them on nightmare, and I had a blast with it. I really had a blast with it. So I do recommend the game. If you're looking for a game to play with friends, that really is no pressure, just fun, build kind of roguelike affair, without worrying about PvP. That's great. It's a good, really solid game to try. So I'm not gonna rate the company for what it did in the past or prior endeavors. What we have here is a really solid game, and what they have reused, the assets that they reused from Star Siege Deadzone, they've done an exquisite job with. Honestly, they flipped it around and they really made a very compelling shooter. So yeah, so that's it. It's a good game, and I do recommend it if you're looking for that kind of experience. Yep, and that's all, boys. I'll maybe review the game, like do a final review once Zone 3 is out, if I see any material changes to the fundamentals of the game, um, or any like monetization tricks that gets kind of backdoored into the game. But I don't think they will. I think they got a good, solid product on their hands, and they're really leaning on to what solid foundation they have to make a name for themselves. And they really do have a great uh, foundation to make their names known out there, and to build some very good goodwill for whatever project they decide to tackle in the future. So I don't think they'll screw that up, and I don't think I will revisit this review. Well, unless something really egregious comes about, but I don't think it's gonna be the case. I think they got their head in the right place for this one, and they got a good thing going. So do as it is right now, there's enough content to warrant 670 hours of gameplay, easy. And it's what, $17 US or 24 Canadian. So that's a very good return on investment in terms of the time per dollar. Solid. All right, that's it, boys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.